helping you live an ordinary life in an extraordinary way. This is Your Health with Dr. Burgandi Collins.
Hey, what's up? It is Dr. Burgandi, and I'm so glad that you have decided to join me today. I hope that you are healthy and happy wherever you are tuning in right now. And on today's little mini podcast, little episode of This is Your Health, I'm going to be discussing the 5 things, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things every chiropractic student should do way before graduation. Way before. I don't mean a couple of quarters or a year before graduation. I mean way before, at least halfway through the program, okay? And the main reason why I'm sharing this information with you today, because these are 5 things that I did not do. And upon graduation, I wanted to go back in time and beat up my old self. Seriously, I had no idea how unprepared I was to be a chiropractor, fresh out of school, and trying to figure out this whole chiropractic thing. I know if you're a chiropractic student or a chiropractor, you have heard the saying that chiropractors eat their young. And I can attest to that. Unfortunately, chiropractors do eat their young, and it's unfortunate, but what you need to do is be prepared so that you are not anybody's prey. Okay, so you ready? 5 things that every chiropractic student should do way before graduation. Number 1, have a 5-year plan. Okay, the plan is the boss. If you don't know where you're going to just be out here aimlessly just letting things happen to you and being a victim of your circumstance. You have to take control of your life. And a way to take control is to have a 5-year plan, because that is the only way you can stay on track and reach your goals. You have to know where you see yourself practicing. How do you want to practice? What type of practice do you want to have? How much money do you want to make? How many patients do you want to see? Do you want to have a PI practice? Do you want to have a family practice? Do you want to have a sports practice? There are all different types of ways that you can practice, but you first have to know how you want to be a chiropractor. And one of the ways you can do that is to go out and visit other offices. You have to get out there, step out of your comfort zone, and go to different practices, talk to different doctors, and be open-minded to practicing numerous types of ways. There are all types of chiropractors meeting the needs of all different types of populations, and you can't judge and sit in your high horse and look down on the way somebody's practicing. Be open to how other people are practicing. That is the only way that you will find out what is the best type of practice for yourself, okay? So number 1, have a 5-year plan. The plan is the boss. Number 2, one of the most important things that you should do that I did not do, okay, is to learn the business. In school, for 4 years, we've learned how to be a good adjuster, how to be a good doctor, how to be a good chiropractor. What we do not learn, or which I didn't learn, I mean, maybe I'll take some responsibility. Maybe I wasn't paying too much attention during those weekend business classes, okay? Maybe I was too focused on passing classes. But you have to learn the business. You have to learn how to run a business. If you expect to graduate and run your own practice, you have to know about leasing. You have to know about employees. You have to know about taxes. You have to know about accounting. You have to know numbers. You have to know how much stuff costs. You have to know about getting loans or financing for your practice or your office. You have to know the business. You have to know how money flows. And one of the ways you can do this is to read. Yeah, I said it. Read. There are lots of books that you can read that would be a valuable resource for you. Such books are Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Dave Ramsey books, The E-Myth Chiropractor, Think and Grow Rich, and also leadership books such as Strength Finder 2.0. My mentor put me on to that. The Little Green Book of Getting Your Way. My mentor told me about that. Good to Great. Go to any New York Times bestseller list or talk to someone and get a good list of good books that can break down the business to you. Business, running a business in general. The Cash Flow Quadrant. Lots of good books that you can read. Also leadership books you should toss in to read as well. Also, I'm a part of Learning the Biz. Under number 2 is to obtain a board of advisors / mentors or a mentor. You have to have someone that you can go to when you have questions about business and about personal development. You have to have people who can point you in the right direction. People who have already made mistakes and who are willing to help you not reinvent the wheel, because the wheel is already made. So the best thing to do is to get with people who have already been out there, who've already tried different things, and who are willing and happy to point you in the right direction. Because you could be the best adjuster, you could be the best chiropractor out there, but if you don't know the business and you don't know how to get paid, you're not going to make money and you won't be doing what you love very long. Okay? Number 3, again, something I had relatively no idea about. And frankly, I don't even think I heard the phrase while I was in school. But number 3, learn about credentialing. Credentialing. Have you heard that before? Credentialing refers to being in network with insurance companies. Now, I know at my school and maybe some other programs, there are sects of people who look down on people or look down on doctors who are open to taking insurance. I get it. As a chiropractor out here in the real world, dealing with insurance companies suck. Okay? Lots of regulations. And it seems like all they want to do is deny your claims. It's so annoying. You see patients all day and you have to wait for somebody to reimburse you. And 9 times out of 10, they want to do the exact opposite. It's so annoying. You have no idea how annoying and how frustrating it could be. Imagine going to work every day, working, and then having to wait months to get paid. It sucks, okay? Really? Yeah, it sucks. So what you need to do is before you graduate, learn everything about credentialing. Learn who the big networks are in your area that you're going to be practicing. Learn the process. Learn about CAQH. Learn how long it takes to get within network in with these insurance companies. I don't care how much you hear that people are going out here just taking cash and they aren't going to do with insurance companies. Unfortunately, the majority of you / us will take insurance at some point. So you better know how to get paid with these insurance companies. And the way to do that is to be credentialed with the insurance companies and in their network. Okay? That's number 3. Number 4, learn what it takes specifically to get the license or to get a chiropractic license in the state in which you want to practice. Okay? Now, I had a general idea. Actually, no, I didn't. Let's be real about it. When I was getting ready to graduate or when I was preparing to graduate or, in the course of school, okay, I flip-flopped so many times about where I wanted to practice. At one point, while I was in a program, I was married to someone and we were planning to go to Nairobi, Kenya after I graduated. So at one point, all I was thinking about was what it took for me to become a chiropractor in Kenya. Then I flipped the switch and decided, hey, maybe I would stay in America. And then I flipped the switch again. Hey, maybe I will go to the Dominican Republic to practice. And did a little bit of research on what it took to do that. Once I found out that was kind of not feasible for me at the moment, and I realized maybe I would have to stay in the States, I kind of generally didn't really specifically know what it took. I mean, I did go to the chiropractic associations or licensing boards of different states to found out what the requirements were, but I didn't really let it sink in. Okay, so let me tell you what it takes. Usually, specifically to get a license in the state. Number 1, mucho dinero. Okay, it's going to cost several $100s to get a license in the state. Number 2, it may be required that you take additional testing, like jurisprudence tests, which are generally pretty easy. But there are some states that require you to kind of sit for something like a mini board. So basically, all the subjects that you were tested during boards, you're going to be retested in certain states. Period. So you have to be prepared mentally to retake something like that and have the money to do that and be available on the dates to which they offer those examinations. You also have to know how much time it would take for you to get that license in that particular state. You're going to graduate and you're going to be a sitting duck, basically. You're going to be sitting there with your thumbs twiddling, waiting for these different states to approve your license. Because they're going to take some states are going to take their sweet little time. Or that's just a process. It takes time. So know how long it's going to take for you to get that license and have a plan for how you're going to earn money in the meantime. Okay, because you need money to live, right? You got to eat. You got to live. Also, you're going to need like those little passport pictures for licensing as part of your application. So go ahead now, take a bunch of those little passport pictures at a drugstore and have them ready so you don't have to worry about paying for that and going to the drugstore to get your pictures taken. Also, in doing so, you got to know how many transcripts you're going to need. So if you went to undergrad, of course you went to undergrad. You need transcripts from your undergrad. You need transcripts from your chiropractic school. You're also going to need transcripts from your National Board of Chiropractic exam transcripts. So you got to go ahead and put in those requests to have those organizations send your transcripts to the state licensing board. That's number 4. Know specifically what it takes for licensure in the state in which you're planning to practice. And number 5, the most important, or second most important, no, for me, most important, after learning the business. Before you graduate, way before graduate, I don't mean a quarter or two before graduation, you better have money set aside for things such as obtaining your license, getting your malpractice insurance, money for the transcripts, money for the pictures that go with the licenses, postage, and also money for any additional testing that's required for the state or states in which you are planning to practice in. You also need to have money set aside for living during this transition period between graduation and working. You have to consider the money that it's going to cost for you to pay rent, put gas in your car, pay your utilities, eat, pay various little bills like cell phone bills and internet. And you also need to consider money that will be required for you to move from the state where you're attending school to the state or country in which you are planning to practice. Money is so important. Money is key. Don't wait until 2 or 3 quarters before graduation, or even a quarter before graduation, and consider how much it's going to cost you to move to the state, and also money that it's going to cost for you to live until you begin working. Now, there are some docs out there who will hire associates who do not yet have a license. I can't speak upon that. Maybe they're going to just have you being an exam doc. As far as I know, in most states, it's not legal for you to practice without a license. But there are some people who get around that, and you need to find out which states have docs which states will allow that practice to occur legally. And if you are going to be basically a sitting duck for a few months before your license comes through, you got to have money in the meantime to survive so you're not so stressed out. Personally, before I graduated, I was working 2 jobs. I was completely stressed out. Actually, I was working 1 job the entire time while I was in school. And then after I got divorced or separated, I ended up working 2 jobs while I was in the program. And I almost had a mental breakdown. And almost every day I wanted to choke somebody, figuratively. In my mind, it was like literally like that stress. And because I was trying to make sure I had enough money to survive after graduation. And also I needed money to survive at that moment as well. But money strains could put, but financial hardships or stress when it comes to money can put so much stress on you mentally. You really just want to avoid it. So the 5 things chiropractic students should do way before graduation, that is number 5. So let me backtrack and list them all for you again because it's so important. And nobody told me this stuff while I was in school. And you should be happy that a doctor like myself is sharing this information with you because I'm out here. And the real world is tough, okay? You got to be prepared. So again, the 5 things that chiropractic students should do way before graduation. Number 1, have a 5-year plan. Know where you're going. Number 2, learn the biz. You could be the best chiropractor, the best adjuster, but if you don't know the business, you won't get paid. Number 3, learn about credentialing. I don't care if you are planning to be a cash-only office, get within network or get in network with these insurance companies in case you have to take insurance. Number 4, learn what it takes specifically to get a license in the state in which you're planning to practice. And number 5, have money set aside for things such as your license, malpractice insurance, all the things that are required for you to get your license, and money for travel to go to these states, and money for you to move if you have to move, and money to survive on during that sitting, waiting duck period before you get your license after graduation. So, my fellow chiropractors in the making, I wish you the best of luck as you are in your chiropractic program. And I'm looking forward to having you out here in the real world practicing with docs like me. So, hope this was helpful. I am Dr. Burgandi Collins. Thank you again for checking out this episode of This Is Your Health. And so I'll see you next time. If you have questions or want to send me a comment, feel free to log on to drburgandi.com. That is DRBURGANDI. Or follow me on Twitter, or send me a Facebook post, or you can shoot me an email, drburgandi@gmail.com.